up, what up, what up? Welcome to the AAT Sports Network. This is the Sports Wheelhouse. I am Chip at Chip for the Birds and Umpire Stories, joined as always by JD at D2N Pods and Kegheads_TM. We've been gone for a minute. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to.
Facts.
Step two. But you know what we were doing? It's like we sent ourselves back to the minors for a second to make sure that the show was ready to rock and roll. And man, do we have a great product for you.
I'm with it.
JD, what's up, bud? Welcome back to the AAT Sports Network. Adam, what's up, kid?
It's good to be back, man. It feels like a long time coming, but at the same time, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So
yeah,
it's all it's all good.
I
Shout
agree.
out to Johnny for the dope edit. That's a really dope edit. I was expecting something different, and I was pleasantly surprised. There was some Steelers stuff in there, some Clemson stuff in there.
There was a little bit.
Good.
So you know what it was? He knows.
He knows us.
He knows what he's got to do. So again, yeah. So the Sports Wheelhouse, it's a show we've been doing for a little bit now. Basically, we got a big old wheel. We spin some stuff, and Javier, what's up, kid? We got some topics to talk about tonight. Apparently, I let you down a little bit, JD, because it's not all football.
You didn't let me down, but it's week. It was week one. It's week 0 of college football. We got Don checking in. It's dude. So we got a lot of people checking in. It's so much college football this week starting Thursday. You're getting football all weekend, all the way through Labor Day. And my boys finish it up on Labor Day. And I can't wait.
So should we get into look? We got a jam-packed wheel.
Yeah, we need to kind of roll. We already got through the pleasantries.
Here's what I'll tell you, JD. You never see the wheel before I put it up there.
Right. Especially this time. I hadn't seen anything. This is basically, I didn't have anything to do with this show.
So there are 11 topics on this wheel.
Jeez.
So here we go.
I shouldn't even look. I don't even want to look.
Okay.
I'm not even going to look.
All right. Topic number 1. We're talking about the Cardinals tank job.
Okay.
So for those of you, again, we're Philadelphia people. At least I am. I know you're down in South Carolina, but you've been around the culture enough to know that when you are trusting a process and tanking for things, it is not a good look, right?
Yeah.
And I will not say that football has an ability to tank, right? It's really tough to tank a football game and a season. But you can put out a team that is not capable of competing.
Yes, very much so.
And that is what the Arizona Cardinals are about to do.
I mean, let's just be honest, man. They were a bad team before, and now they got a bad team and a bad product to put out with it. So it's just going to even be more. And it's you kind of saw that was going to happen because you kind of could see the turmoil coming within the quarterback room. Then you had, they traded DeAndre Hopkins. He was gone now. So it was just a bunch of different things happened that kind of lead you to believe that, hey, we're not trying to win right now. We're trying to, shore this thing up and maybe we're in a rebuild. Kyler Murray isn't that great. He's had some injuries and stuff. So I don't know, man. I'm with you. I kind of just think that they're a dumpster fire.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? Again, Kyler Murray being hurt, he tried standing on his tippy toes and he was unable to do so. So I get that. The problem is when you have a guy, and again, I'm not saying that Colt McCoy is a great quarterback because he's not, but he's going to win you 1 or 2 games. And you look at this entire Cardinals roster and they traded DeAndre Hopkins. They traded Isaiah Simmons. They got Budda Baker on the trade block at all times. Kyler Murray's not playing. They trade for Josh Dobbs, and then they basically say, you're going to be the starter. You fire a head coach. You bring in Jonathan Gannon, so right away you're not going to be a very good team. I just don't – when we talked about basketball, we talked about the Sixers, there was punishments and fines and loss of draft picks and things like that for being obvious at tanking. When you're not playing your star players in the NBA, there's fines. There's for obvious tanking. Should there be some sort of fine for this?
Not necessarily, because even if you roll a team out there that we say is a better team, Like, you don't know why they're doing it. They're probably thinking that because for real, Isaiah Simmons is a great player. He's a Clemson guy. But if you wait too long and he plays on a bad team, his value is going to go down every year. So you might as well sell now.
Okay, so I hear you when you say that. They traded him for a 7th round draft pick.
I get it because his value is going to be lesser than if he plays on a bad team very long. He's going to risk the risk of getting injured. If he gets injured, you're not going to get anything for him. So at least you got something for him to show.
7th round draft pick?
I mean, at this point, look at what
it's pretty blatant. Is my point.
It's blatant, but it's blatant because it's blatant that they're going to be trash. Like they're going to be bad.
They're going to be.
Isaiah Simmons isn't winning any games for you. He doesn't have that much of an impact on the game at any position. So he's not going to win a game. They only got Kyler Murray. They don't have very much of a secondary. I mean, other than him, you got Budda Baker, who's 97 years old, who got hauled down by DK Metcalf 4 years ago. And people haven't forgot about it. Like
people don't forget.
That was 4 years ago. Yeah, people don't forget. So that's not a good team.
And as Adam is saying here, Jonathan Gannon is going to be a terrible. Jonathan Gannon is a bad coach.
I mean, if I'm going to lose with anybody, I'm going to lose with a bad coach and then go get me a good coach and try to shore it up later on.
Yeah, but they're going to be punished for stalking him during Super Bowl week. So they're already losing draft picks because of all that.
Listen, you can't win them all, Chip. Like they're playing a losing game. At the end of the game, like you just got to take your losses.
But the new uniforms are dope
for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah,
I mean, you're getting losing style. You know, Deion said, "Play good, look good, play good, play good, get paid." Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Caleb Williams. Conway asks if they get the number 1 pick, who you taking? Caleb Williams.
Absolutely not.
Okay, who you taking? If you're the Arizona Cardinals, then you got to start from scratch.
I'm not taking Caleb Williams.
Why?
Because he's a quarterback first off, and you're gonna waste him.
Kyler Murray's a waste. Kyler Murray's a waste.
Right, but you're wasting. You need to wait till later on in the rebuild to get a quarterback. Like
That's not even true because look at the Texans. They went out and got C.J. Stroud. Look at the Panthers. They went out and got Bryce Young.
Also stink.
Look at the Colts. They went out and got Anthony Richardson. Your quarterback is the first person you get, and you build around them.
You can build around him, but you have to have a semblance of a good team. They don't have a semblance of a good team. In order to have a good team, you got to start with the defense and offensive line. That's how you get a good team because those guys will take a couple years to maturate. That's all you're going to need. So you need to get an offensive line that's pretty deep because then if you're getting bad picks, it doesn't matter because they're not going to win anyways.
But everything you're saying, and JD, you know I love you, but it's wrong because there's a reason why quarterbacks go number 1 overall. It's the worst team in the league getting the first pick.
I get that.
And they pick quarterbacks.
But Caleb Williams, and we're going to see this later on in the season because they're ranked really high right now. They're going to get their face knocked off by SEC teams. It's going to happen.
Of course.
So when we talk about this maturation period, you're playing in the Pac-12. The Pac-12 and these other like weak conferences in college football are not preparing you for an NFL defense. I don't care. And that's why we've seen such a fall off between these Heisman candidates they've been saying they've been having and all these other conferences and not getting them out of the SEC. And they go to the league and they fall back because they haven't played anybody. So I'm not basing my rebuild on a quarterback that come from the Pac-12 or anywhere outside the SEC. Because you got an SEC quarterback at Jalen Hurts down there in Philly, and guess what he's doing? He's carving cats. So
yeah.
Exactly. So I'm saying there may be a method to my madness. I say if you're going to have to start over, you can get you a good quality quarterback 2 years down the road. Because even if you build up your offensive line, you're still going to be a bad team for the next 3 years. Get your offensive line that you're working with, and then go back and maybe the next 2 years of your rebuild and get a quarterback. You'll still be bad enough to get a really good first round pick. I promise you.
So, all right. That's about all the time I can spend talking about the Cardinals, if I'm being totally honest. Back to the wheel.
I was talking more about the rebuild. Let's do it. Got a nagging tooth injury. I'm going to be out for 2-3 weeks.
Well, you sound like you're whining. And speaking of whining, let's talk about Dak. So it's funny. Now, listen, you didn't even know it was going to land there. So, all right. Let's discuss this because you know I do enjoy a good slandering of Cowboys.
Dak Prescott.
I'm going to play a video. I'm going to play a video for you.
Why do we? Okay.
Okay. I'm going to play a video of Dak's thoughts on the Trey Lance trade. Have you seen this?
No, because I don't watch anything with Cowboys in. Like, as soon as I see hashtag Cowboys in it, I don't watch
Neither do I, but this is an important one. All right. So this is Dak talking about the Cowboys culture and trading for Trey Lance.
Okay.
He has some thoughts.
Of course he should.
I mean, I can't say that I necessarily expected it, no. I understand that that's business. I understand that they're probably on a timeline. They need to get something done. And as I said, he felt like that strengthened his team. To be honest with you, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. You've been in this league 8 years, been on this team. It's hard to say that I was surprised, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't say that I.
Okay.
I don't really see that as whining, though.
So neither do I. And that's, I put the shock value up there so that, we understood what we're talking about. But the Cowboys are always looking for the next best thing. And I want you to think about the things that have come up in the NFL this week in the Dallas realm. They trade for Trey Lance, who is the number 3 overall pick just a couple years ago.
And
shouldn't have been.
But that is because people do what you were talking about. They go get a quarterback before they're ready to get one, and he ain't the one. They see the shiny quarterback out there. Should have took an offensive lineman.
They should have took offensive lineman and built around Jimmy G.
Exactly. Pornstar Jimmy should have been doing it.
You know what I mean? So, and Adam's saying, Trey Lance can be the starter sometime this year. I don't disagree with you. Barrera checking in. He's also saying, timeline. They've been on a timeline since the 90s. Go win something, Dak. Yes, agreed. So I understand his frustration. It's very Carson Wentz-esque when they went out and drafted Jalen Hurts. And then because you have a starter and then you're bringing well, hold on. You have a set starter who.
Did you though?
No, I'm saying it's very similar to that story. And then you have a disgruntled starter because of the backup.
I'm going to let you finish.
Trey Lance is not a good NFL quarterback. He's not going to be a good NFL quarterback. It's going to be the end of the North Dakota State quarterbacks in the NFL because now they're 0 for 2. And now you've got Dak looking like he wants to go elsewhere. You're going to have they let Ezekiel Elliott go. That was his boy. Now he's going to struggle this season. And you're going to find that it's going to turn and all fall on him. And again, like Mike's saying, he should go out and win something, but he can't. And they got nothing. They had to give up nothing. Nothing.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The issue is
and then having Jerry Jones come out this week and say, you know what, we were actually looking at Jalen Hurts to draft onto the team as well a couple of years ago.
Okay. So let's do this. First of all, number one, with all these Cowboy fans that are out in the world, running around talking trash about this is their year. It's never your year because you haven't had a quarterback that could win you anything. And you have an owner who won't let anybody mature. Mm-hmm. So you have a whole situation there. The reason why I don't compare this with the Carson Wentz situation is because Carson Wentz had been hurt 3 of that last 4 seasons before y'all traded him. So that's why it's not the same. Jalen Hurts was an insurance policy. Hold on, wait a minute.
Excuse me, Mr. JD. When was the last time that Dak Prescott played a full season?
Oh, I'm with you. That's what I'm saying.
And they didn't have to rely on Cooper Rush, and they didn't have to rely on Ben DiNucci, and they didn't have to rely on all these bum cats.
I'm with you. But when you go out and you get a new quarterback, you draft a quarterback, it's different than bringing in another bummy quarterback that you've already watched struggle in the same division, basically. The NFC, he's been in the NFC struggling and not even getting to play really. So all you really did was take a guy who was unproven and bring him to a place that he really would need to be proven it because Jerry Jones is going to put his foot in his mouth. So it's not the same because you went and got Jalen Hurts, who was an unproven guy who had improved every year in college, to bring him to a new situation to be a guy that needed to come along. He's not going to have the chance to come along behind Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott, like everybody else is saying here, he's going to be out before the end of the season. He might put himself out. He might just say, hey, I'm done. Like, trade me. So at the end of the day, it's not the two same situations. And
the thing, Conaway just texted me on the side. So it's not even the trade to Dallas that was the problem. It was the fact that they sent, and I'm reading right here, 3 first-round. The 49ers sent 3 first-round picks and a third-rounder to Miami to get him.
Mhm.
And those picks became Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if
It's
Trey
been a
Lance
bad
never
situation.
develops, it's going to be a problem that could set multiple teams back.
Listen, we've watched this in the NBA. You watch teams trade, barter, because they believe these scouts that I don't believe are even watching the tape for real.
Nah.
I think that these scouts are literally going to games, reading the headlines, not looking at teams that they've played. And in football specifically, I know this is going to hurt somebody's feelings, but I'm just here to tell you, if you play in any conference that does not play in the South, you are not playing football. Unfortunately,
Which we know. And that's a bigger conversation, is what is the future of college football look like? But that's not a conversation for tonight.
Southern, that's what it looks like. Southern. Southern. It's a lot of dudes saying y'all and wrecking and all that. That's what it looks like. Even if you are a good player, like you got guys like Micah Parsons and all them that come from like Penn State and stuff, that's a different caliber because those teams are, those teams have been good a long time. Notre Dame, those are teams like that. Michigan. But outside of those, Ohio State, outside of those 4 teams up north, I'm not taking anybody.
Javier, are you talking about the 49ers?
How is the coach and GM not fired by
Because here's how. The 49ers are making NFC championship games.
Because the Shanahan.
Because of Shanahan and Lynch, because what they have working around them outside of the quarterback. See, there have been enough examples in the NFL.
Still got Debo.
They've got Debo. They traded for Christian McCaffrey. They got a Bosa. They got Warner back there in the line. They got so many guys that are winning in spite of the weak quarterback play, which goes like we always say that the most important position on the field is the quarterback, but there is proof throughout NFL history that you can win Super Bowls with mediocre quarterback play. You saw it with Joe Flacco. You saw it with Trent Dilfer. You saw it with
BD.
Nick Foles.
BD.
So it's possible, but it's unlikely. Now, what I would be worried about if I was a 49er is saying that Brock Purdy is going to win you anything.
Hold on. Let me throw this out there because I know we're talking about San Francisco. I am not against saying Brock Purdy is going to do anything. Brock Purdy just won't make it through a game playing against the Eagles. He just won't make it.
No one is.
He's not going to.
They got to keep the bubble wrapped helmets for anybody to make it through those games.
These guys are violent. Like they are violent, and they want to do.
Our newest player's nickname is Baby Rhino.
Like, I'm just not okay with what's happening. And to be in all honesty, the 49ers are doing a lot with a little. Like, let's just be real.
They are.
Like, they're doing a lot with a little. Like, they're the opposite of the Cowboys. The Cowboys are doing a little with a little, and they're doing a little with a lot.
I just know that the Cowboys can't do anything until they get rid of Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy.
Which one do you got to go? Which one's got to go first, though?
McCarthy will go first for whatever new toy that Jerry Jones goes. Jerry Jones is never going to give up his team, so he's going to have to die.
Fair. That's not bad.
Now, would they be on a short leash if not fired, or it's just an oops, we'll forget about it? Here's the thing. The Trey Lance thing didn't work out. They still made a conference championship game last year. It's all forgotten about.
The 49ers are not in a bad spot, no matter what. They picked the wrong guy, but they got a guy of value in Purdy. Let's say Purdy does pan out.
He was a Mr. Irrelevant. They're going to look brilliant if he eventually does take him to a Super Bowl. He's not going to.
It's the Jalen Hurts situation. Now, that situation is very similar. I would say you went and got a guy for less than he really is deserving of. Let's say Brock Purdy does pan out. He is a similar quarterback situation to Jalen Hurts. When he got drafted, nobody expected him to be very much more than a clipboard holder and a guy to come in to get some minutes when Carson Wentz went down. But to say now he's your franchise guy, that could end up really happening for them.
And there was so much writing on the wall. Like they went out and they got Sam Darnold. The 49ers went out and got Sam Darnold this offseason. They got Brock Purdy. They got Trey Lance was he didn't even win the third string job. No.
And he wasn't. And he's not because he plays in a conference and never seen guys that move that fast, that's that big. It's hard to do that. Chip. It's hard to emulate a SEC defense where dudes are 350 pounds and they run a 4.5. It's hard. Georgia, Alabama, it's hard to do that. Even the Texases of it all.
Yeah. Dante,
My
what's
boy
up?
Blaze, what's up? What's up, Blaze? It's my guy.
Yeah. So
Like the Texases of the world. Like you got now, and watch this. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. Watch now how the SEC is getting bigger and they're adding more teams. Like you got your Texas and the Oklahomas and all them who are coming over there. There's gonna be no team above the Mason-Dixon line that can even stand a chance. Like it's gonna be really bad.
And that's what it's wild to me, the level of which all of this has been going on, because it is drastic. It's drastic. The level of competition everywhere else in college football, it's
Non-existent.
That's the only way I can say it.
It's non-existent. They're making documentaries about Southeast teams only. There's one about Florida. There's one about Texas A&M with Johnny Football. There's one coming out about. I mean, they're just documentaries. There's one apparently coming out about Clemson. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, they don't play football other places apparently. They just don't do it.
No, they don't at all. All right, let's continue with our wheel. How we doing, Dante? We're doing great, kid. We're doing phenomenal. I love it.
We're back like we left something. Ooh, he said, I don't know how the Horns or you will be able to compete on the defensive side of the ball. They may not be able to compete, but we're going to find out.
So,
ejected.
Ejected.
What?
So I'm going to show you something that happened over the weekend.
This is another video?
Of course. I mean, I got videos for days. I just got to figure out where the hell it is. Here it is. All right. So this is a situation that happened over the weekend where an umpire lost his damn mind at, I guess it's a minor league game or like some other kind of league game. And
do people realize that you just tried out for this type of deal?
That's one of the topics. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right.
That's one of my topics. Don't worry.
What up, Michael?
Michael, how you doing, man? So I'm going to put this up on the screen, and I want you to. So remembering as a coach, as a teacher, as a father, as all these things, I want you to watch the way that all of this could have been diffused.
All right, let's see. Let's roll that beautiful beam footage.
And Tucker Nathans was just ejected by Warren Nicholson.
The black umpire is the one that's going to have a problem.
Now he'll get his money's worth. TJ Stanton sprinted down from the third base coaching box, getting in Nicholson's face. Now Reed Hoover trying to get Nicholson back from Nathans. They are going nose to nose here. TJ standing with his arms folded.
I can already tell you where this could have went different.
All right, I'm pausing it there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, 42 was ejected, right? If I'm not
mistaken.
He was. He should have been gone right then.
Yep.
The manager should have took 42 and took him on about his business.
Yep.
The fact that you let him come up behind him could have been really bad. Because let's say he hits him from behind, then there's nobody in a mind that's going to be able to stop that fight. Because my boy, I think he already pissed off right now. He already tight.
Can you just do me a favor and look at the score at the top of the screen?
0-0, and it's the bottom of the first? Yes.
With 2 outs.
Okay.
How are you this angry 5 batters into a game?
I don't even know. It's AAA, so there's no telling what was
Arms
happening.
folded now. And now Nicholson just made contact with Nathans.
Oh, he put hands on my man.
And TJ is pulling Tucker out of the fray. And in all my years of watching baseball at every level imaginable, I have never seen an umpire ejected from a game.
Now, was he ejected or did he leave on his own?
I think he was told to leave.
I mean, I don't really see that the black dude did. I'm just kind of being honest with you.
Yes. So, and Dante is exactly right. He should have gotten out of there much faster. Both the player and the umpire. And yeah, Javier, I think that the having history thing could definitely be a part of it. You cannot make contact. That is for absolutely certain. But as an umpire, If
Did
I
he really make
know
contact with my man though, because he turned around and my man was right there.
as an umpire, I know for a fact, and Adam's saying the same thing, must have carried over from previous game. I know if I'm working a solo game, I'm kind of constantly diffusing. There's not much I can do. But if I have a partner or two or three or whatever it is, and the problem is with me, I will let them get their money's worth, and then I am walking away. I'm walking away, right? It's wild, but I think the umpire should have removed himself. Dante, walking away. The ump needs to be the adult. You have to walk away.
I understand. Okay, but what I'm telling you is he did walk away. If y'all don't recall, he was walking away, and my man came from behind him. Like people forget that part. He might have said whatever he said at the beginning, and I don't know what was said. I don't know what slurs or words was used. We don't have any record of that. But I'm telling you, even as a coach, when I walk away, if somebody comes from behind me, I am now on guard because I got my back to you and somebody's holding me back, so I can get my butt kicked while you holding me back.
So go back to the beginning of it, where the umpire, approached the entire bench.
He does approach the bench, but that's
also wrong. If you're going to eject, if you're going to do that, you do it from afar and let the one person come to you out in the middle of everything.
Okay, so question. Do you think that he ejected him once he got over and they said something to him in the dugout? Because I feel like that's what happened. I feel like he went over there to address him and maybe they had a conversation and then he threw him out. Because if you remember, they were talking like this. He throws him out and then somebody in the background said something. He's like, mentioning in the back, like, you shut up too.
I think what happened, and I have to read more into the story, is he ejected him and then he went over there to make sure he left.
He got ejected. Ooh. That's tough. That's tough. They're both wrong.
Both of them are wrong.
Yes,
but
they're both wrong.
That umpire, that player will play again this season. That umpire is fired from that league, I guarantee you.
I mean,
but he should be.
I don't know, Chip. I don't know. I've been around a lot of ball. Like, and I know you're an umpire and I get that. But at some point, you are also a man and you have safety. So like
right.
You
so
don't know
why are you approaching it?
I don't know. Like I need more context. I need to know, did he throw him? Like I need to know why he went over there. Like that's what, first of all, for me, I need to know why he's over there first off.
Right.
Number two, I need to know in the context of what was said because he looks like he's talking to him and somebody says something and then he throws Buddy out. And then at that point, I've done my job. Now I'm leaving. And then the guy comes after him. At some point, the coach of the blue team, I guess, should have grabbed his player, then throw him out. That game could have continued.
So that delay was 61 minutes.
Dang. That's what makes me believe that more happened and I need more information.
We talk about speed of play all the time. That delay was 61 minutes.
Yeah. That's when you got umpires and referees and stuff who become the center of attention when people ain't come to watch you.
I did a game the other night, and I'll tell more umpire stuff coming up. But I did it. Actually, do I have? Hold on. Let me see if I even have a Hey Blue on here tonight. Do I have an Hey Blue on here? I don't. Okay, so JD, here we go. We're just gonna stay in the way too long, Dante. Way too long. I don't know what got it started. I got to do a little more research. It's minor league ball, so it's not as easy to figure out. All right, I'm going to tell you of a call that I had to make. It was a one-man game. Okay, you tell me the call. We're going to do Hey Blue. Ready?
All right, let's go.
Okay. You need a pop fly. Batter hits a pop fly right along the first base line. So he's going to first base. Pitcher comes running in. He catches the ball or attempts to catch the ball on the line.
Doesn't.
Batter, now the batter runner, runs into him.
Interference.
Guy going from second to third as well. What's the call? And place the runners.
You give the runners out. I would say the runners out.
The batter runner or the runner?
The batter runner.
Okay.
The batter runner's out. And then I give the runner first. Am I half right? Do I get partial credit?
You're half right.
Then he takes second then.
He gets put back on second because the interfering team cannot be rewarded for
The
interference.
Was he on second to begin with?
He was on second to begin with, yes.
Okay, my bad. I was just going to give him the previous base, so that's why I thought it was at first.
Yep.
My bad.
And here's the thing, right? So there you go. You can umpire with common sense. And this kid was so heated, and he had started by pitching, and he didn't pitch well, and then he made a couple bad plays, and then he struck out a couple times. And then I had to make this call, which he's like, well, that rule's got to effing change and F this and F that. It wasn't, but here's the thing. It was an 18U league, so there's some grown-ups, or at least older kids. And this kid was having a day. I did not eject this kid because none of it was directed at me. As soon as he says F you, he goes. But he was upset by the rule. He's upset by the situation. He's upset by his play. Now, the older you get, the more you have to enforce certain things. Okay. But why am I ejecting that kid in that situation? He's just mad at himself.
He's playing a bad game anyway.
Correct. Why am I doubling down?
He's not locked in. He's not locked in. He's not locked in.
Right.
So he's gonna do more harm than he's gonna do. And maybe he can bounce back from it. I don't know.
Right, and so that's the thing, and he's going to remember. Like, I tried to explain the rule to him, and he doesn't like the rule, but it makes sense when he comes. He's going to remember those things. But you come across guys like my man, the umpire in the video. You come across guys that don't have the human compassion, that don't have this ability to use their humanity in these situations. It's the law is black and white.
That's what's gonna happen when they start bringing these cyborgs, umpires and referees and stuff. Reminds me of.
I don't know. I'm waiting for Barrera to tell me. I'm guessing it might be an Angel Hernandez thing because, either that or he's about to put a picture of Nickelback. This is how you remind me.
Oh man, we're slap happy. We're kind of late starting this.
Listen, I'm trying to talk to my Canadian fans.
Reminds me of Ryan Howard.
Reminds me of the Ryan Howard ejection when Ryan was upset with himself and the ump thought he was showing him up. Howard was heated. Yeah, you can't do that. Now, majors is different. It is a televised thing. These are grown men playing for a lot of money.
Fair enough.
But the other I did a game a couple months ago, and I had a bad game as the umpire. I had a bad game, and I had a couple. I think I told you this. I had a couple players telling it to me. I didn't run any of them. Because I know I was having a bad game. They never crossed the line of being flat out gross and disrespectful.
They let you know that you were not doing.
But they let me know what I already knew.
Facts. Okay. I mean, I've never been told as a coach I've been doing a bad job, but if a kid told me, I'm probably sitting them just because.
Right, but that's a different thing. That's a coach thing.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Let's get it popping here.
To the wheel.
I just feel like something big is gonna happen here. Hope it's my time to shine. Not this guy again.
But do you know why?
What did he do now?
He has a quote.
A quote?
He's got a quote.
What could he have possibly said that anyone cares about?
He's got a quote.
Is it about my man?
So Ben Simmons was, first off, he thinks he's great right now.
He thinks he's playing great again.
He thinks that he's going to have a great season. He thinks he's going to be awesome. I'm going to read you his quote. Are you ready for it?
The games don't matter now, so I mean, he probably will do good.
Oh, but his summer workouts, he means.
Okay, let's do it.
This is a quote from Ben Simmons. I'll always have love for Philly.
Facts.
People always ask me, if you were to get traded again, where would you want it to be?
Philly.
I always say, just Philly. Philly is a second home to me.
He still owns property there. That's not.
He owns real estate, but now he owns property too.
Listen, all I'm gonna tell you is this. I need you to understand. I need you to hear me loud and clear. If that doesn't tell you that Ben was not the problem, then I think he could do some good. I really do. I think that the team that we got now coming back with them dudes is trash anyway. So it's not a. I mean, they booed him at a wrestling match. He definitely got booed when he came back. But at some point, it's just like, you know what, this dude ain't worth the trouble. So they probably won't even boo him anymore.
So, can I start some drama up in here?
About what?
All right. So you said dude isn't the problem.
He's not the problem.
I probably saw Trey Turner standing ovation, got jealous. Yeah, that's probably true. You know what we don't talk about enough?
About what? If you do this, I swear to God, I'm going to go down that road with you. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna hold back. This is the way to start it out.
Is Joel Embiid the problem for chasing 3 All-Stars out of Philadelphia?
Okay, first of all, Joel didn't chase Jimmy Butler out. He actually was the reason that Jimmy would have stayed. Number 2, Harden's not an all-star. So let's do that. So that's why there must be 2 truths and a lie.
I'm just choosing violence tonight.
And then the third one is Ben Simmons got a raw deal. And I'm still holding on to that because Doc Rivers, we should blame Doc Rivers. Let's blame Doc. He's
okay, listen, you know I have no problem blaming Doc. So what you're doing is what we call Philly-splaining things. But
he's not the reason. He's not the reason.
Listen, I'm just trying to throw questions out there. I'm trying to keep the conversation lively.
Listen, you are, but what I'm saying is you're gaslighting me right now. I feel triggered.
Javier feels triggered.
I feel triggered because you are coming at me to tell me about Joel, and Joel hasn't done anything. And Joel's he was fat, got skinny. You know what I'm saying? And you remember this, but being called Joel out when he was eating at McDonald's every day and had the body that looked like a Maytag. So he called him out. So I don't think it's any issue. I don't think it was really about Joel.
No, and again, I had no seriousness at all. Think that it is Joel Embiid. Oh. First off, I'm just trying to start stuff. I'm like Michael, got to be stopping something, right? But again, if you just look at the stats, 3 All-Stars have left Philadelphia while Joel Embiid remains.
Who's the third one?
Harden was an All-Star, not an All-Star with Philly. He was an All-Star.
Well, he wasn't a current All-Star. Well, the other 2 were current All-Stars when they left. And let's just keep it a beam. Like there's 2 reasons why it couldn't be Joel. One, It would be because Joel he took his criticism and he's continued to kind of become a man with it all. I mean, what I'm actually saying is I don't see how Joel stays.
And again, that's a conversation that you and I have had. The way that and Harden is something else that we're going to talk about tonight. It's another topic on the wheel, but I just don't see how this keeps happening. I don't think Adam's saying if you don't get past the second round or an NBA championship, you think Embiid will want out. I think he's going to want out now. He's got another new coach. He's got no real team around him. His secondary option wants to leave. His third option, Harden. His third option is Maxey being the distributor. And then Tobias Harris is not worth the paper that he signed his contract on.
Can you go down to this camera area? Okay. I'm going to tell you this because makes the most sense. Because if you look at it, even if you go back to where he's saying before Doc gets there, because Doc was supposed to be the savior of the team. Because if you recall, when they let Brett Brown go, that was supposed to be the person that brought the team together, all this and all that. And all Doc did was create more malice in the locker room by not wanting to take ownership of his problems. Because every time we said something about Doc, he would say, "I'm not Pop. Why would you come to Popovich like this?" So there's no way that my players can go up there and accept ownership of their problems if I can't accept ownership for people even asking me questions about my bad coaching decisions.
Yep.
You cannot say Ben Simmons is the problem. He's the problem, but and I've been saying this from day one.
I know you have.
In the beginning, when this all thing started, when he passes up the dunk and he doesn't do it, he doesn't take the dunk. We automatically that's on brand for Ben Simmons to be unselfish. That's why we loved him so much, because he was so unselfish. He was
like Mr. Triple Double, Mr. Double Double. Absolutely. Yeah, we knew he wasn't a scorer, but he was great for the assists and he was great for the rebounds.
So now here it is. The playoffs were all pissed off because he passes up a place. That's on brand for him. That is on brand for him.
Yeah,
Like
we got some awesome comments coming in. Mike saying, I'm still down for selling Embiid, bringing a lot of return while he's still at a high value. Yeah, he's one injury away from being damaged goods. I agree. And again, we know this isn't really a big man league anymore unless they don't bang around in the paint. So that's where he still might have some luck. But there's this window with the big man is 2 years max. You got a lot of money coming off the books after the season. Time is ticking, though. Yeah, but with money coming off the books, you also have players coming off the books, too. And the players that we have now aren't worth anything. I don't think he's as good as Joker, and outside of him, I don't think your center can be your best player, which is exactly what we were just talking about. Jokic is the best player in the NBA all around. Embiid might be the most complete big man.
Oh, okay. You had to clean that up for me.
I cleaned it up. But Jokic can get you wins. Embiid can get you regular season stats, and then he gets tired. Embiid got tired in the playoff every single season.
But hold the press. Jokic has a way better team.
Agreed, and that's what I was going to say.
Joel Embiid. Like, you can't compare. It's like comparing apples to oranges. They might be the same dude.
Which is why I do not think Jokic was the MVP this year. I think it was Embiid because Embiid did more with less. Jokic did less with less, like you said earlier. Jokic did more with more.
And that's the difference.
Most valuable player.
Yeah. It doesn't make Jokic like trash. It just means that in that year, because look at back years past, the 2 years that he didn't win MVP, he didn't have nobody. Westcott was out. He was his point guard was out, hurt.
Murray was out. Yep.
Murray was out, so you didn't have him. And you see the difference between when Murray's there and when we get Harden. Them two ain't even comparable. They had dudes everywhere. They had guys some veteran guys who
Michael Porter did phenomenal in the playoffs.
Well, the third game he did phenomenal. The rest of the games he was very pedestrian. But
it was okay.
Guys, because you got younger guys who can come in and step in. They still got some weird tread on the tires. All we did was turn the Sixers into the Houston Rockets.
And the Houston Rockets team never won anything.
And we got Pat Bev too, the one with the bad attitude.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of love that he's on our team. Not that he's going to help us all, but I just love that he's on the team.
And this is another part. I want to say this and be done with the whole switching of grabbing people. You lost the most valuable asset in the coaching staff, which is Sam Cassell.
Yes,
so that's what I'm much more upset about than losing Doc Rivers. I'm more upset that we lost Sam Cassell in that whole divorce, if you would call it that.
And what worries me, and again, nothing against Nick Nurse, but what worries me is that if you look at what Philadelphia has been successful with lately, all the teams, right? We didn't get a big name coach when it was time to replace Doug Peterson. We got a new guy with new ideas. When it was time to replace Joe Girardi, we didn't get a big name guy. We got an older guy, but new to managing with new ideas.
Facts.
We went from a Doc Rivers who won an NBA championship with multiple superstars and has clinged on to it, to Nick Nurse, who won an NBA championship with one superstar.
But what type of superstar, though? He was a guard.
Correct.
This is a guards league, and he's a two-way player. So you really get two players when you get like a two-way player. You really have two players in the NBA.
Right. And Dante said, I think that Michael 15-5 in the playoffs, that's good enough. Yeah, because you had other guys doing the dirty work. If you had Tobias Harris putting up those kind of numbers consistently,
you'd be good.
But he doesn't.
He's a max player.
Yeah. Barrera here.
Yeah.
What's your thought on this?
Yes.
Sam's going to win a title as a head coach before the Sixers win one as a franchise.
I'm not only raise you that, but I'm telling you he would win it in the first couple years of him being a head coach. That is how good he is at player development. He is a player's coach because he was a player himself. There is something to be said about players who got it out the mud, and then
so was Doc. I mean, Doc was a player,
trash can player. And on top of what I'm saying is that, like, what I mean is, like, he kind of got it. He took his lumps. Like, he's been a couple places. He's developed some talent, and then on top of it, like, I think a guy like Sam Cassell could go somewhere and with just a young team. He ain't got to have no old dudes. He can connect with young players. We already seen that with Maxey. He could take a team like maybe Denver. I mean, not Denver, but not the Lakers either. It would have to make sense. Maybe like a Memphis. If Memphis coach don't work out, I think he could take Memphis to the league. Yeah.
Yeah, Dante's spitting fire tonight, man.
Like, there's a couple guys that are players, coaches, and they're going to have something. I do believe if he get a team that's young and got a little bit of talent, he can do something with it. Maybe that Rockets team. Because he played
how
for
much
the
of a
Rockets.
slap in the face would that be?
Listen, he played for the Rockets.
Well, look at that. That's going to be perfect. So Harden put his foot in the mouth so badly that the NBA went out and fined him $100,000, which we know was a drop in the bucket. But what does that say?
Bro, these people get on my nerves, bro. Harden didn't do that wrong. Harden just confirmed what we already knew. Like, I mean, let's just be honest. He confirmed, and this is what makes me pissed off. If he had said something about one of these other GMs that nobody gives a crap about, it would have been no talk to me. It would have been a little bit of, yeah, because the thing about it is everybody has acclaimed weirdo Morey as this prodigy and this big money getter. And so he's going to bring in assets. Well, he hasn't. And everybody's frustrated because he's lied to everyone. And so he's a liar.
Here's my thing, right? I don't think that it's so much on the fact that he's like, oh, he's a liar. That could just be true. I think where the NBA decided to slap him down is I will not play for that team anymore. That's tampering.
Is it tampering? In every other sport, a guy can claim they're not going to do something.
Yes, but it also makes you untradeable. And the NBA is a league that is a players' league because there's only 12, 15 guys on a roster. And he's one of the 5 best because he's a starter.
Okay, so let's just be honest. Let's say he pulls Andrew Luck. Then what?
Retiring is different than refusing to go to work.
But what I'm saying is, what if he just says, F it, y'all won't trade me, I'm retiring.
Well, that I can see. And Adam is saying like Harden coming back and then he's going to play in China. I can see that too.
So, and this is my point. This is my point about Harden. Don't like Harden. Never liked Harden. Not a big Harden guy. But I will tell you this. Harden's got enough credit in the NBA to where there should be somebody listening to what he's saying, and they should be not holding him as much account because that's just a guy that's fed up and knows that he can't win somewhere where you've been lied to. Because you said, hey, wait, we will get you better players. Maybe we'll move some money around. You haven't done any of that. There's been nothing he's done since he's been there.
So what's the difference then between Harden and the things that he said and him getting fined and Damian Lillard saying, I want to play for Miami? And Damian Lillard has not been fined.
I think that's what I'm saying. There is no difference. And it's because it's Dame Lillard. It's because it's Dame, and Dame is who they believe has been loyal and taking his lumps. And that's why they're letting him speak freely. Because he's been there for like 8 years, and people have been asking him to ask for a trade, and he hasn't asked for one. So then he finally did ask for one. And I think that's more tampering than what Harden did.
Because he's trying to write his own ticket out?
They both are. But one is telling exactly where they want to go.
And like now you got Giannis saying like, hey, I might not be back next season.
He might not. All I'm saying is, even though they have a CBA and they have these rules and they only make those rules apply to people they want it to apply to. But LeBron James been doing stuff for the longest, telling people to come play with him and doing all this and all that. Like, what's up, Kenneth? You got all these people coming in. So how is it a problem now? Because that person's not the face of a franchise, or they're not the face of the NBA anymore. Harden was the face of Houston, had to deal with Morey, basically got lied to there. So all it is just a maturation period where he's just gotten tired of it. He's had to deal with Morey for at least 10 years at this point.
But so there you go. So, right. So, but Damian Lillard's dealt with Portland for 10 years. So just because it was in 2 different places, why is Harden the one getting punished?
He shouldn't be getting punished. Like I said,
because he's peeling back the curtain.
And on top of him, he's not the player he once was. So
at
he
all.
Ain't the guy. The jersey sales is going down. Like he ain't got really no real value.
Everywhere that he has played, he has hostile takeovered out.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we didn't slap you on the wrist last time. We didn't slap you on the wrist last time. We're going to slap you on the wrist now. And then he's trying to force his way out by not showing up. Or like, then they saying if he shows up overweight or not up to standards, they can find him again. It's
going to be the Ben Simmons stuff all over again.
But now we need to look at why people are doing this. So there's a bigger piece to be had. Like,
is it because they don't want to play with Joel Embiid?
No, it's not because I'm not even somebody clip this thing and have me on the news. Nah, I'm good, bro. Like you on your own. That's Chip. Yeah, Chip crazy.
No, I think you know I don't feel that way. I love Joel Embiid. I'm just trying to start stuff.
He's been
just trying to be starting stuff. Nah.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this and I'll be done with it. If you look at the league as a whole, there's been certain rules for certain players the entire time that the NBA has been popular. There's different rules for Michael Jordan. There's different rules for Allen Iverson. And it just seems to be that Allen Iverson got chastised a lot. And Michael Jordan, even though he was a humongous gambler and all this,
never got the championships solved all.
Yeah. And
I think nobody says anything if AI wins 2 championships.
No.
Or even one.
Or just let him be who he is because you've let everybody else do it as long as they come with a price tag to make you some money.
Exactly.
AI was a huge factor. The NBA should have never bothered him. He was a huge marketing.
He changed the basketball culture.
Yeah. I mean, now that's nothing but dudes with tattooed arms. You can't find a dude.
Without AI, you really don't have like Carmelo Anthony like he became.
Yeah. You don't have those guys. They even tell you that, there's no them without him.
Right. All right. It was NFL cut day today. Any names jump out to you as shocking?
NFL wise?
NFL wise, people that got cut today.
Not really.
How about for your Steelers?
Not really. I mean, everybody that I expected to get cut got cut. Like, I mean, nobody stepped out. I mean, and then the ones that did get cut, they were either too old to be still doing it, and they were just hoping to make the roster. And then the other ones were like young guys that really just didn't really have a prayer. We didn't have any marquee guys or guys taken an early alone in the draft that were going to be obvious picks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was a lot. Like, again, Eagles world, I mean, we cut our punter. That was kind of big because now we don't have a punter. But at the same time, he should have been cut. He was atrocious.
Who?
Aaron Sipas, our punter.
Yeah. I mean, then you got, like, y'all had Deion Kane. Y'all dropped him. Y'all dropped a bunch of my Clemson guys, but I didn't expect them to make.
But again, a lot of them are going to end up on a practice squad somewhere, which is fine because we're pretty loaded at wide receiver. The fact that we're only keeping 4 wide receivers right now is a little. You can tell that the Eagles roster is not done yet at all.
No, and even if they put a guy, and if they don't make the 53-man roster, they can be on the practice team and they can bring him up. Like, I'm thinking that's what's going to end up happening with Deion Kane. Like, I think he's going to end up getting like a 10-day contract or something and working his way into the rotation.
Right. But like, I look at other things like the Browns drafted a kicker last year and then they cut him.
Well, look at a kicker. Like, you can get a kicker. You can find a kicker.
Why are you drafting kickers?
I'm just saying you can find a kicker at a local soccer field for real.
I think, Javier, are you talking about Trey Sermon? Who they used him a lot and he played okay, but he didn't have any big breakaways or anything like that. He didn't do anything that really set himself apart.
Trey Sermon has had a rough go at it since he left the since he left to San Francisco.
Yeah.
He got hurt in San Francisco. He played for Ohio State, was a beast at Ohio State. They're kind of going away from that kind of his running style. His running style is more ground and pound, and you can't
like give me 20 carries and I'll do something.
Yeah, like I can't give you 25 carries, bro. Like you're gonna be hurt. Like the way he runs, he'll be in the hospital.
Yeah, and like I think some of the bigger things for me, not necessarily cuts, but things that didn't happen. So there was no Jonathan Taylor trade. And I think that the asking price was too big. And you saw the memes. It's like, I want to be paid like the highest running back. And they were like, no. And he's like, I want to be traded like for a high running back. And they're like, absolutely.
No. Because think about this. And I'm going to throw this out there for Colts fans around the world. If you're a Colts fan and you watch this guy basically say, I don't want to play for you guys anymore. I'm going to force my way out. Very so what we're talking about with Harden and them. Like, the NFL is not going for that. They don't have a collective bargaining agreement. So if you don't do what you're supposed to do, they're just not going to pay you. They're going to find a way to put you on a pup, and they're going to just not pay you and pay you nickels for your time, and you'll get out of shape. And before long, people will forget about you, and then you'll get traded for pennies when it's all said and done. Or they'll find some type of scandal on you, and then you'll be the next Deshaun Watson. But either way it goes, you're going that way. Like, you're not gonna beat the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, and like, Chris Jones of the Chiefs, he still wasn't reported to camp, so that's a problem. The Texans one other team cut one of their captains from last year. I mean, you've got a bunch of players who probably should make rosters somewhere. But yeah, I mean, how do I feel about the Eagles keeping 3 quarterbacks? I think it's the right call because I don't trust Tanner McKee in a replacement situation yet, but I think by the end of the season, Mariota could be trade bait for a team that needs a backup.
This is what I've been telling people. Because of the last couple of years where we've seen teams in the middle of the season they haven't even seen a starting quarterback in some of these games. Like you're watching a game and it's like a guy who played 7 years ago at Texas. Like you don't know, like the guys like Colt McCoy should not be starting on an NFL team.
No, but he's better than Josh Dobbs and whoever else the Cardinals have. Or how about the fact that the New England Patriots cut all their quarterbacks except for Mac Jones?
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Mac Jones is Mr. Dependable. He's not gonna get hurt. You can't get hurt running out of bounds and throwing the ball out of bounds. You can't get hurt doing that.
Like surgery. I don't think that there was a lot of big things that happened, but I definitely think that there was a couple like weird decisions that happened. Problem is the way they're training. Listen, Dante, I agree. The way that the running back position is being viewed is awful. But again,
you don't need a running back.
But it's not a running back league anymore, and that's what kills me. Like I'm still over here banging on the drums that fullbacks need to be a thing, but it's just not. It's not going to be a thing.
I don't even remember a fullback since Mike AllState.
Most teams have a fullback. Most teams had a fullback.
It's basically your tight end. That would be Travis Kelce if you were. You don't need it. Like tight end can be your fullback. Like you don't really need that. Come on, man. Like let's be real. Like it's the new age of football. You don't need a running back for real because it's running back by committee anyway. Because none of these guys are studs. Like you got your couple studs. You got like CMC. You got Derrick Henry. You got my guy in Pittsburgh, Harris. You got some guys. You got some dudes like Nick Chubb.
So you're telling me that a certain Watt brother should not be there because he's your fullback?
Who? TJ Watt's brother, little brother?
Yeah, Derek Watt's a fullback.
Man, that dude trash.
Ooh.
I didn't even know his name. I just know he's the other Watt brother. Like I know it's 3 of them.
The dude in San Francisco, the one running back in San Francisco is a fullback.
Who?
Not McCaffrey.
Not Deebo Samuel. Them the 2 running backs I know about.
Deebo Samuel's not a running back.
Deebo Samuel is everything. Just quarterback, running back, wide receiver.
He's the one that always goes to the Pro Bowl as a fullback. Kyle's Juszczyk.
Don't know who he is.
Yes, you do.
Didn't put him on my fantasy team.
I think I did once, and he got me a point. I'm like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. He ain't gonna touch the ball.
Listen, there's no need for it.
Yeah, what about the Eagles getting Isaiah Rodgers but won't play because of gambling suspended? Listen, the Eagles kept all the cornerbacks that they did. They kept 7 corners. So you know what? They don't need Isaiah Rodgers this year, but he's going to be a nice talent.
And on top of Isaiah Rodgers, you got to remember that like people are going to get hurt. Like these dudes get banged up throughout the year. There are going to be guys that filling in spots. And like I said, quarterback room going to be looking weird or randos that haven't played since they played in college. Like it's going to be weird. And just every year they add more games and more games and more games to keep up with the price of the salary. So there's going to need to be a lot more dudes on these teams. Or you're going to be like the replacements and have random dudes coming out of jail getting money.
Oh. All right. So for those of you that did not know, because we were on the other network and now we're back over here, I'm an umpire, and I went down to a Major League Baseball umpire camp over the weekend. It was 4 hours. It was at the AAA stadium in Norfolk, Virginia. And it was training by guys who, when you added up all of their total years of Major League Baseball service, it was over 400 years of baseball umpiring professionally. 3 World Series, 10 All-Star games, a bunch of championships, a bunch of division titles, things like that. So these guys knew their stuff. And there were 204 of us at this last camp. 204 guys trying to be Major League Baseball umpires. So they ran us through some drills. They ran us through some footwork. They taught us a couple of things. And I did a pretty good job. I felt I definitely learned some stuff. And I just got the email tonight that I did not get the invitation to the month-long training, which is fine. Because like I said, I learned a couple of things and I brought it back with me. But the camps are free and I can attend as much as I want. So It was a very cool experience. I learned a lot. I talked a lot. I learned about a little bit what it's like to be a professional baseball umpire. I learned how, like, in single A and rookie ball, there's a 2-man umpire crew, and you basically live with that guy for like 180 games a year. When you get up to double A and triple A, it is 3-man crews. And again, you are there the whole time. And then professionals is 5-man crews. And it's a little bit better. So many umpires ready to go on that camp, and they cannot show. Yeah. Well, so here's the thing, Javier. They said from the day that you graduate from the umpire school that you go to, the average is about 8 years to get to the majors.
So that's why they be so old.
And that's the thing. That's where this camp, they're trying to pull a younger group of people. So they offer these scholarships to ones that like really showed them something. And again, I was good. But there are
How many do they
7.
normally take?
I don't know. But so they gave a lot of numbers and presentations. So they talked about like the healthcare, they talked about the money, they talked about all that stuff. In Major League Baseball right now, there are 72 professional umpires. So there's like, I think they said 17 crews. So 15 of the crews are working or something like that. 2 of the crews are on vacation for a week. And then 2 of the crews are in New York doing replays. So it rotates around.
Thanks.
Major leagues. There are 132 minor league umpires across all 3. Single A, double A, triple A. So about 200 guys staffing all of baseball.
How many people retire a year? Do they say that?
Not often. So the fact that they just brought 10 guys up to the pros, it's going to be a little bit of time before the next squad comes up.
Hey, man, you're going to get your shot, man. Don't worry about it.
And again, if I get it, cool. If not, I learned something and I became a better umpire because that next day I had to make that call that I was telling you about, and I knew what I was doing and I was in great position. And I felt like a more competent umpire because of it. But it goes to the fact of, are you willing to learn your craft?
Thanks. I mean, we go to coaches clinics all the time. Same thing.
So umpires that I know get the most flack from people are the ones who are so set in their ways and they never want to get better.
Facts.
So umpire or not. And yeah, and Ken is right. Like, you basically have to start out of high school. I wish I had known about this out of high school. I didn't start until my late 20s because my kid was playing baseball and they needed umpires to do games. And I was awful my first couple of years.
I mean, it goes down in the DMs. Hit me with that next topic real quick.
Hit you with the next topic. We got a couple good ones coming up. We got 3 topics left. I know which one you're waiting on.
You know it. Dang. Oh.
Shenanigans.
Oh.
Shenanigans.
Can we talk to people about the shenanigans? So if you don't know, we do these shenanigans, right? And the shenanigans are like stuff that's not necessarily sports related. It could be anything. It's normally like some hot topic stuff. So we're going to have fun with it. It's always funny. So
this is a lot of sports stuff that I have for you tonight.
Big facts.
If some of the teams were named like the Philadelphia Phillies, the Baltimore Balties, the Boston Bosties, the Cincinnati Cincies, the Cleveland Cleavies, the Houston Housties, the Kansas City Kansies, the Minnesota Minis, the Pittsburgh Pitties.
I do like that one. I'm not gonna lie. I like
the
that
Tampa Bay Tampies, the Texas Texies,
the Tampa Bay Tampies sound like Tampa Bay tampons.
The Oakland Okies.
I don't hate it.
So,
the Oakland OKs. That's what I would say.
No, it's the Okies.
I know, but I would call them the OKs.
It'd be the Washington Washies.
They're washed up for sure.
The Tampa Bay Tampies is killing me a little bit too. So what the shenan that I have for you is, think about all the cities that have sports teams and try to come up with some other good ones. Like the San Francisco San Frannies.
You had time to think about it, so that's not cool. The Los Angeles.
I feel like you got to go with, it can't be like a 2-name city.
I don't know, like the
Sacramento Sacramentos.
The Detroit Deets.
The Detroit Deets. No, it'd be the Detroit Titties.
Oh, Deets. I was gonna say Detroit Deets. I think the Detroit Detroits.
The Detroit's.
No, Detroit Detroits.
The New York New Yorkies.
The New
Have a
York
little dog-
Yorkies.
The New York Yorkies. They be running around like little puppies.
Okay,
I'm
not mad about it.
This made me laugh. I saw this today, and it's the Buffalo Buffies.
Oh,
there you go.
The Brooklyn Brooks.
It'd be the Brooklyn Brookies.
Oh, because you got to add the E's. Okay.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn Brookies.
Yeah. See, like Dante understood the assignment. The Buffalo Buffies.
He's got too much time on his hands. He's got like a keyword. I can't do all that. I need more time.
That's what the shenanigans are. You have to be coming unprepared.
I feel like I need to start the LA Pandas.
Kenneth missed the assignment.
Yeah. You got to take the name. Like, so it'd be like the Los Angeles Angies.
It'd be like the Vegas Vegies.
Yeah, it'd be like Los Angeles Angies. Actually, that's what it'd be. If we doing the IESs.
I'm trying to think if there's any other good ones. Like just off the top of my head.
I'm trying to think. We got Philly. The New Jersey jerseys.
Yep.
That stinks.
It's when you stop and break it down like that, it is such a stupid name for a team. But they're on a winning streak, so ring that bell.
Let's go. Ring it, bell.
All right, more shenanigans.
Ooh.
So this is a NBA.com GM survey. And they said next year, who's most likely to win the first-time MVP?
Ben Simmons at the top.
Ben Simmons has 38% of the vote.
Listen, maybe somebody's seen something that I ain't seen.
I did not expect to talk as much about Ben Simmons tonight.
I think I'm all right with Ben.
Over Luka?
Yeah.
Luka's basically already an MVP.
No, he's not. Because you got to win, and he ain't going to win. So you got to win.
Yeah,
Brooklyn's in the East.
Luka's got to be the answer here. Kyle Kuzma should not even be on the chart. You can divide that 12% up, give each of these guys 4% more.
I do need to talk to us about something because they're talking about DeMar DeRozan. And DeMar DeRozan,
he's sneaky.
He's sneaky good. And he's getting Lonzo back this year. Zoe will be
No,
back.
Lonzo's out for the year.
Zoe just literally said he was coming back.
When? Because I heard last week that he was out for the year.
B, that was messed up information put out by Stephen Smith.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for clearing that up.
So he ended up going on IG Live and was doing like workouts and said, I don't know who gave you this information, but I'm coming back. He's like, you know what I'm saying?
So I play 2K, right? A lot. I love 2K. For some reason, DeMar DeRozan, when I play it's like the computer and stuff, is always that guy that cooks me.
Well, first of all, you need to realize something about DeMar DeRozan. He really liked that. And if you don't recall, it really messed up his like situation when he ended up having to leave Toronto.
Yeah.
Because he was playing with Lowry, and that's how they ended up getting Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, let's just be real about this thing. I think DeMar DeRozan is nice. He's been nice. He's underrated. He's basically like, I would say like Dame time. He's just been in the wrong situations. And I will also say this, and this is why I think that it might be Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons only got Miles Bridges on one of the bridges.
They're not going to win anything. They're
going
to win anything.
Okay. How about this? Let's do this because I got some time on my hands tonight. Right. So in the East, over there with us is only the Brooklyn Nets.
They're not in there.
Listen, you got the R76ers are trash can juice.
That's true.
And they've been winning the East.
No one is taking down the Heat.
The Heat might take themselves down. Listen, I don't believe in the Heat either. The Heat didn't have too many chances and ain't did nothing with it. So they like the Stockton Jazz. Like they made it there a lot, but they ain't did nothing with it. So I'm not giving out no love.
Boston is legit, and they locked their guys down.
Listen, Boston ain't did nothing either, and they didn't lost my man. So now they're gonna be looking real shady. They lost their heart. Have you seen
Marcus Smart?
Have you seen have you ever seen? You got little kids. Have you seen what's the movie? Moana.
Yeah.
You seen when they got the heart of Tafiti?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the hardest to feed is Marcus Smart, and somebody got it, and it's then turned into whatever, and it's gonna be a dumpster fire over there in Boston. And I'm hoping on it. But they got Washington; they are trash too. Like, so Brooklyn has a really good chance of being up there because the rest of the East
don't.
I'm telling you. All right, put it on wax right now.
They're going to be a 9 or a 10 seed again, unless they make some big, humongous trade.
They finish in the top 5 in the East.
Absolutely not.
Put it on wax right now. I'm telling you.
Let's get the final rosters, and when we do our NBA preview, I'll say the same thing.
I'm putting it on wax right now. Boston will be in that. Brooklyn will be in the top 5 in the East this year because there's nobody in the East.
Well, I'm not saying that I disagree with you there. I think the West wins for the next couple of seasons if nothing changes.
The trash can juice. It's a fire. I'm not gonna lie. Anytime we're talking about Atlanta, then we got a real problem.
All right. Which team are you taking? Older brothers or younger brothers?
Ooh, hold on. Let me see. How is Robin and Brooke Lopez on there? They're damn twins.
Maybe the one's older by a minute.
This is shiesty. The younger brothers would win it only because there's such a differential with the Giannis. The Giannis one is huge because the one brother don't even play, and the other brother is getting buckets. Like, so that's I take because Seth Curry can play his role on that team, and Melo is a star, Giannis is a star, and Mark Gasol was a star. So yeah, I'm going younger brothers.
I'm taking older brothers.
How?
So, in my opinion, I have the Ball brothers as a push. Right?
Like,
the two of them are equal.
No.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Are you serious?
They are equal at best.
One is a franchise player, and the other one has been hurt for like 18 years.
Push.
It's no way. Nobody's gonna agree with you. Y'all.
I don't think LaMelo Ball's that good. I don't think Lonzo Ball's that good either.
Listen, they have taken he is the face of the Charlotte franchise.
Who cares? It's the Charlotte Hornets. You even have a gambling man like Michael Jordan say, I want no more part of this.
No, Michael Jordan had to get that team because he owed a massive debt to that man.
It was either that or his foot.
Facts. Steph Curry, that one's gonna.
Steph Curry is a no-brainer. Yeah.
But the one up top, that one.
Yeah, that one's real bad. That the Antetokounmpos, that one's real bad. But Paul Gasol, while I do not think he is a Hall of Famer, we had this debate a couple months ago.
No, we didn't have that debate. I like Paul.
I do too. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
It's no way he got championships.
So what?
And he was an important part of those championships.
So does Robert Horry. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Robert Horry should be a Hall of Famer, though. We've been had that conversation too.
We had that conversation too. I think Paul Gasol is much better than Marc Gasol.
This is hurtful.
And then Brooke Lopez is the better Lopez.
That's debatable, but yeah, I'll take it.
Better scorer, better all-around player. Robin Lopez is lucky if he can find a rebound.
I mean, he's also a part-time homeless man. So
yeah, he's a caveman. So I take the older brothers, you take the younger brothers. We'll have to see what happens.
We'll have to play it on 2K and see what happens.
All right, and I think this is my final shenan. Enes Kanter.
Why is he even talking?
Likes to say how much that he is like Mr. Man when it comes to rights and everything. That's why he changed his last name to Freedom. I could have had the Nike contract and career LeBron James has had, but I truly chose to become more than an athlete. Where do we start on this one? This man just compared himself to LeBron James.
LeBron, the King James.
First off, let's talk about him comparing himself to LeBron James, the basketball player.
Yeah, let's do that. So we have 5 championships, or 4, or how many? 4 championships that LeBron got 4. So you got 4 championships. And on top, I didn't even know Enes Kanter still play basketball.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Why did he have a Celtics jersey on?
Because he plays for them.
He's on the team?
No. They cut his ass.
So why does he have a jersey on then?
Because he played for them. Past tense.
Like when?
Last season, I think, before the playoff push.
So wait a minute. So Enes Kanter, who is younger than LeBron, is now at the league
Enes
before
Freedom.
LeBron.
Enes
I'm
Freedom.
sorry. Enes Kanter Freedom. Kanter get freedom.
So all right. So we agree on the basketball playerness of it all. LeBron's got him beat by a nose.
Just a little bit. He's only like a half a bit player.
But I choose became more than an athlete. Tell me where LeBron James has been doing humongous things for the community constantly.
I'm just trying to figure out what Enes Kanter has been doing because I don't even know any.
Well, as Kenneth said, he's been on the mushrooms.
No, I'm just trying to figure out where his activism work has come in. Because I mean, if you're trying to be an activist for like mushrooms, then cool. But like, as far as him being like an activist for like human rights, I don't think I've seen any of that stuff.
You going to the Google?
Nah, my wife sent me a house, but I don't, because anything is better than what I'm looking at. This cancer business is crazy.
That made me laugh a little bit. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I had more. No, I didn't. I had stuff that I was going to start. My fault. But I'm good. No, for real, I need whatever he's.
You don't need that. It's gonna make you buzz out. Listen, whoa, Adam. Hold on. Put that question back up.
Putting it back up.
Put that back up there. It says Robert Horry had 7 championships. He's a role player. His numbers were not there. Listen, Robert Horry has a nickname, and not every player has a nickname. And I feel like when you get a nickname in the NBA, you are immortalized, and you should be in the Hall of Fame. There's only a couple people in the NBA with nicknames. Everybody knows that he's Big Shot Bob. If there's the only name that I think is cooler than that is Pistol Pete. And we were about to start calling John Morant Pistol Pete a while ago. So let's just like we just split hairs and say we would like call it a thing. But I think Robert Horry deserves to be in it. You cannot tell me that a guy that's won on multiple teams and has hit big shots on multiple teams does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what his numbers are. Big Shot Bob. And if I can call him out, I think it was Houston, the Spurs, the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing somebody?
I feel like those are the ones he won with.
Those are all big shots where he hit big shots to win it. Like, and they ain't like, these are shots in the playoffs. These ain't just, hey, I won a shot in game 47 of a 77 game season.
Oh, what a great segue to one of our favorite topics.
Should they be in the Hall of Fame?
Should they be in the Hall of Fame? So what I'm going to do, what's that?
Run me that check.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some statistics, and you got to tell me if this person, based on their statistic line, should be in the Hall of Fame.
All right.
And comments, feel free. So we are talking about, we'll talk about basketball because we're right there. We're right there.
If it's Big Shot Bob, I'm taking it.
Nice little segue. We're talking about basketball. This player played for, 17 seasons. Okay. Played for 17 seasons. Played for a multitude of teams.
What's a multitude?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different teams.
How many championships?
Seven.
Robert Horry. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, we ain't doing this. Let's go. Run me my check, bro. Like, what are we doing? Run me my check.
All right, so let's take away the rings for a second. My man had a career, 1,100 games played.
Facts.
Had a career, 5,200 rebounds, 2,300 assists, 1,100 steals, 1,000 blocks, and 7,700 points.
Boy, if y'all don't put that man in the Hall of Fame and stop playing, and he got 7 rings. Like, get out of here.
7 rings.
listen, bro, like Big Shot Bob is that guy because everybody remember him as a role player, but they don't remember his younger days when he was the man. He was kind of the man on some of them teams. The Spurs teams, he was all right. Bob should be in the Hall of Fame. Point blank, period. I'm telling you. The only other guy that I know has got more rings than him in the NBA is probably, I think is it Bill Russell?
I think so.
Come on, man. Put that man in the league. He got more rings than LeBron. Like, let's go. Let's run it.
All right. Second one. Football player. Okay. 7-year career. 7. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Played 103 career games.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
Had 617 career tackles. Had 2 career forced fumbles. Had where's sacks?
You said he played how many years?
7.
As a defensive player, 7 years.
3 career interceptions. 7 career sacks.
I'm gonna say no, but I know it's somebody that I probably think would be in. But
No, you won't, because I'm just messing with you now. I'm just being a bitter bitch here.
Who is it?
Miles Jack does not belong in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think that dude deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm still mad that he decided to quit on the team. No, you want a real one though? Give me a sport, because I have a couple in mind.
Give me another basketball one. Those are the
right.
best ones for me. That's the easiest ones.
Okay. Trying to find the stats. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Now, listen, Miles Jack does not belong in the Hall of Fame. We understand that. I'm just mad that he quit on my team. All right. This player played in 1,000 career games. This basketball player, 1,000 career games. He averaged 16.1 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He averaged 4.5 assists per game, 2 rebounds per game.
Mm-hmm.
Played all of his seasons for one team. So he played 13 seasons in the NBA, all for one team. I don't know if you're going to get this one.
Is it Derek Fisher?
It is not.
All right. From those numbers, I wouldn't say yes, but that's just off the numbers. I got to see his impact. I think his impact has something to do with it.
16,000 career points, right?
It's not. I mean, it's not a little bit of points. It's a good bit of points.
Okay. He was a 6-time All-Star. He was a 2-time champ.
Ooh, that ass. Hold on. We gotta.
He was a finals MVP one of the times.
Is that Andre Iguodala?
It is not. We did that one already.
Finals MVP.
5-time all-defensive player.
Is it Dennis Rodman? No, it's not Dennis Rodman. Is it Dennis Rodman? Oh, he did play in Utah. I forgot about that. He did play in Utah.
He snuck in there, yeah.
It was like the end of the career. I don't know, man.
This player is in the Hall of Fame.
Who is it?
It is Joe Dumars from the Detroit Pistons.
That's facts. He's one of the bad boys. The bad boys. He deserved to get in. Because you got to think about the time. Even though he didn't score that many points, he's one of the leaders on that team.
Correct.
So I think it has something to do with the impact too. That's why I say Big Shot Bob should be in.
Yeah, you can't black it when it comes to, and this is why I like to play this game with you, because you can't black and white with numbers when it comes to Hall of Fame. It does need to pass the eye test.
Facts. I'm with it. Speaking of eye test, let's talk about it.
Okay. Yes, Joe Dumars is in the Hall of Fame. He was elected in 2006.
Yeah, Joe Dumars is that guy.
And his jersey is retired.
Let's go, Joe Dumars.
Right, there you go. College football preview. Talk to me.
All right. So everybody knows college football start this week. I think it's considered week 1, but it's really week 0. If you ain't been under a rock, then you need to know about a couple games I'm gonna send you to go look at this weekend. Last weekend we got USC and San Jose State. That was a blowout. So if you were looking forward to seeing Caleb Williams do anything other than run it up on somebody, then that's all you got because they played School of Deaf and Blind. So that's what happened.
Wait, Bishop Sycamore plays in college football now?
Happens.
BSI?
Then you got Notre Dame. They beat up on Navy, which was expected because it's Navy.
They beat the hell out of Navy.
Navy was trash can juice. We already know what it is. The only good game to watch them play against is against Army. So it is what it is. Go Navy, beat Army. You got Utah and Florida coming up on Thursday, so you'll get a little Thursday night football if you ain't got nothing to do. So check that out. I want to see how good Utah is, but I think Florida's going to get the best of them because it's like I said, SEC defense versus some little weak Pac-12 guys. You're looking. Go Navy, beat Army. Another kind of notable game to take a look at that might be sneaky good game will probably be this Tennessee Virginia game. It doesn't look like much on the record, but I think Virginia has a little bit of sneaky good defense. Be on the lookout for them. Of course, everybody's going to be watching. Everybody and their mama's going to be watching South Carolina and North Carolina. Go at it. I do believe that South Carolina is a top 25 team. I just think they've been kind of slept on. I'm missing another good one. Florida FSU, Florida State. That's Sunday night, so you'll get another big game come Sunday night. That was going to be good, Kenneth. I will be watching that as a Clemson fan. I will be watching. That is going to be a game. You're getting number 3 versus number 8. That Tennessee Virginia. I said that one already. That was going to be a huge game. In the sense of college football playoff implications, because if Tennessee somehow loses that game and drops that game to Virginia, they're going to be out of contention for the college football playoff. Last one I'm going to give you that is a sneaky good game, not only because it has playoff implications, but it's the only game on is my Clemson Tigers versus Duke on Monday. It's the only game on September 4th on your Memorial Day. A lot of eyes on that game. Clemson is a 13-point favorite in this game as well. They're ranked number 9. So if Clemson was to somehow find a way to lose and screw the pooch, that will be their college football playoff hopes right there thrown away in game 1. So
go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Listen, I am very, very I'm very happy about college football being back. I don't think it will be a good game.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because I heard this somewhere, and you're the bigger college football fan, so let me ask you this question. Somebody said that they think that because there's so much comparable teams in college football this year, you got a lot of teams that are like neck and neck, a lot of parity.
Oh, hold on 1 second. I got one more game out. Colorado TCU. Be on the lookout for that game. That is a game that is going to be at 12 o'clock, and it's going to be a sneaky good one. So if you can get in front of a TV, that is Deion Sanders. It's going to be his premiere into college football outside of what he's played. That Colorado team has got some sneaky good players. They could take down TCU. They
replaced literally everybody on their team. So
yes, they're not the same Colorado that they had when this thing started rolling. If you can go to that game, Dante, I would say go to that game. Deion is going to put on the show, and those guys are going to be ready to run through a wall for him. Do not be surprised if TCU gets knocked off. They're number 17 in the nation. They might take a loss to Colorado. I think they got a lot to prove, and Deion has got those boys cooking with gas. I'm not going to lie to you.
I like it. So my question for you is that there's a lot of parity in college football right now. A lot of the teams are very, very similar. There's not a lot of separation. Is this the year that there is a 2-loss team in the national championship?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Because there will be multiple teams with 1 loss or less. Because there's always going to be teams that come out of their conference. Like Clemson, very well, if they can beat Florida State, they can come out of the ACC unscathed and with no losses. Same thing for Florida State. Florida State, if they beat Clemson, they're probably going to come out of the ACC unscathed. Miami, I think they're a couple years out as far as the ACC goes. Mm-hmm. Alabama and Georgia, one of them will cancel each other out like they always do.
Always.
So you'll have one of them teams with 1 loss. It just depends on which one it is. And I think if that happens again, you'll also have Georgia and Alabama both making it in. So unfortunately,
isn't this year that they're expanding it anyway?
I don't know if it expands this year. They had been talks of expanding it, but like I said, when you got the number one team kicking everybody's ass in the college football playoffs, it's hard to expand. I think you need a little bit more parity in those college playoff football games, because if not, it's just more of the same. It's just basically back to the BCS thing again. Like the number one team is normally the number one team.
True.
So, in my opinion, just being a college football guy who watches it, in my opinion, I hate saying this, but there's no way that I'm putting a Pac-12 team in there. I don't care if it's USC or not. They're just showed on so many different levels. It's like when you put Notre Dame in there, they can't compete.
They'll compete mollywopped.
They'll compete against each other. Like Notre Dame will compete against,
and they'll look really good.
Yeah, they'll compete in those games. But when you put strength for strength, these guys that are down here, like the last couple of years, I would have been willing to put Texas in it. And TCU just wasn't ready. They're not ready for the big leagues yet. They're just not ready. They're just not ready. Like you need a couple more recruitment classes where you start getting some guys in there that are that higher caliber. You can have a great program, and I will take nothing from TCU, but the Pac-12 is not ready. The Big Ten, they got one or two teams you can throw in there with it's either Michigan or Ohio State. But for the most part, man, all of that firepower is down in the SEC. Even ACC, we only get two teams that can really go, Florida State or Clemson. So if one of those teams don't go, we don't have a chance.
Right.
So I mean, in reality, it's the same problem everybody else has got. Just the lack of being able to compete. So if you're a Pac-12 team and you're trying to find somewhere to fit in, that's why all of them are trying to go to SEC and stuff, so they can try to get some of those SEC players that weren't good enough to play in the SEC to come to their school, because there'll be an SEC school at that point.
Yeah, I think TCU shocked Will. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment, but then they got mollywopped, so.
I remember we kept talking about, you kept telling me I'm putting TCU, and I told you they're not going to be able to stay in. I remember telling you I said they're not going to be ready.
Listen, I'm Philly. I like to root for underdogs, and they're the Horned Frogs.
We talked about this. That Horned Frog stuff don't matter, man. When you pack in these teams like Alabama, they may beat each other, but it's like your big brother.
Right.
It's like, hey, man, I'm going to beat you up, but I ain't going to let nobody else beat you up. You know what I'm saying? So when you went in there, Georgia and Alabama, they might look like it may look like Alabama and Georgia ain't really good because they beat each other up. But when you go play Alabama and Georgia, you ain't gonna have that same type of effect. They're gonna beat you down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's just the same. It's just a difference, man. They do. It just matters a little bit more down here.
So that was the Sports Wheelhouse here on the AAT Sports Network. I want to thank everybody for commenting. And man, Dante, Kenneth, Adam, I know Conway was up there. Javier, all you guys that came in, rolled in. You were there from minute to minute. Like that was phenomenal. So thank you for that. JD, you got anything awesome going on this week?
Yeah, I'm actually going to start putting out my fantasy football and good bets and stuff this week. So I'll do this week. The first couple weeks I'll do it for free, but I'm working for Bet US now. So I'll be putting out my picks and all my prize picks here in a little bit. And all those picks, normally last year, I think I had a 97% rating last year. So I do my research, especially when it comes to college football and college basketball. Do my research. Pro football and basketball, I'm not doing it. It's some more games and it's too much to keep up with, and the players are more fluid. So I try not to. So I can't really keep up. But if it's any NBA or NFL picks, if it's any college picks or college basketball picks, come to me. I'll hot you. We do need to catch up, man, for sure. Navy guy, Kenneth checking in. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Let's just go Tigers. But yeah, I'm doing that. So I'll be doing that in the next couple weeks and giving you guys some good picks to pick up for fantasy football as well. Some sleepers.
So AAT Sports Network, AAT Birds. Tomorrow night we have, we're going to go over the 53-man roster. We have quite the guest tomorrow night. JD, I'll tell you when we're back in the green room.
Oh, I was going to say, care to share?
I'll tell you when we're back in the green room. I don't know. Look, cat the bag out of the cat.
The bag out of the cat.
Besides that, man, thank everybody for tuning in. We're going to be here every Tuesday at 9:30 for the Sports Wheelhouse. And like we say all the time, okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
I have to end the show, not